Hello and welcome to Backyard Food Guide. What I'd like to do today is to talk about how to grow celery. Celery is not a crop that we normally grow just because it has been relatively easy to purchase, inexpensive in the supermarket. And also it's well known for being a little bit difficult to grow, but this year we're going to give it a try. Celery has a long growing season and a low tolerance for both heat and cold. Also, it can take anywhere from 85 to 140 days to grow to maturity. So that also makes it difficult for home gardeners, especially in some areas of the country, to be able to grow celery. So what I'm doing right now, it is mid-June, and what I'm planning to do is to sow some seeds and to have a fall crop of celery. Also, the types of celery that I've purchased, the seeds that I've gotten, there are two. One is the Paris Golden variety, and the other is the Tango. So the Tango is 85 days, and what I'm hoping for is to be able to do the cut and come again. So the idea is that once the celery gets to be about 8 inches tall, what I'm going to do is to harvest some of the outer stalks and to allow the celery plant to keep growing. So another reason why we're deciding to grow our own celery is that the price of celery has gone up quite a bit in the last few years. So that is somewhat chalked up to drought conditions in California, and then also a higher demand with green juicing being as popular as it is. And celery being an important part of green juicing, there has been an increased demand of this particular vegetable as well. So I'm planning to grow from seed, and that can be a little bit tricky to do. The seeds require a loose soil bed that isn't too heavy in terms of being too sandy or too clayey, and it also requires that the tiny seeds be at the top of the seed bed because they need sunlight to germinate. You can cover the soil with a little bit of plastic wrap to keep things humid, and you can remove the plastic wrap when the seed plant starts to grow. So when you're getting green stalks, for example, you have to be pretty patient. It can take up to 18 days for the seeds to germinate. So even don't give up on it too quickly. It can take a long time. Celery is super nutritious. It's high in vitamin K, vitamin A, folate, and potassium. What you want to do is make sure that you have a garden bed that gets at least 6 hours of sun, and ideally, if the plants can be shaded for the hottest parts of the day, that would help as well. You can also grow in containers, and what I would recommend is a container about 8 to 10 inches wide at minimum, so in diameter, 8 to 10 inches wide. And for that particular container, I would put probably 1 or 2 plants in. In a garden bed, what you want to do is to end up with a spacing of 6 to 12 inches apart. And you also want to make sure that you are consistently watering. Celery does not do well in drought conditions. They can wilt or just taste really terrible. They are also a heavy feeder, so it's a good idea to fertilize using an organic fertilizer. And what I've purchased are types that don't require blanching, but some people do. So blanching is where you prevent certain parts of the plant from getting light in order to keep it mild and from getting too bitter. So some ways of blanching would be to mound up some soil at the base of the plant, or some people use newspaper or cardboard at the base of the plant. Again, the types that I have here, the Paris Golden and the Tango, do not require blanching, but I might give some a try just to test and see what the difference would be between the ones that were blanched and the ones that weren't. So what you can do once the plants are 8 inches tall is to start harvesting. And some people mention that this can be quite prolific in the fall, that if you keep harvesting in that way, they can end up producing a lot for you. So I know this is a difficult vegetable and not necessarily a good one for beginners, but I also think it is a good challenge for us. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.